Today we're going to recap both Higurashi and Umineko, and then we're going to explain the ending of Higurashi no Nakokoro ni Kai. So the first arc in Higurashi follows Keiichi, a boy who has just moved to Hinamizawa. He meets two girls named Rena and Mion. That's Mion Sonozaki and Rena Ryugu. Mion belongs to the Sonozaki house, which is one of the big three families in Hinamizawa. In this first arc, we see these two girls going almost completely and utterly hostile and nearly insane, trying to do what we see as kill Keiichi. And so, after a short period of time, Keiichi finds himself cornered in his own house, being rough cut, taken over and captured, and about to be injected with something by these two girls. So what's the thing that makes the most sense to do? It would be to kill these girls with a baseball bat. And that's where Arc 1 ends. I could sit here and explain every single different arc to you guys, but you guys might not even know what an arc is. So, basically, an arc is a little segment of a story, and in this case, it is going to take place in different, I guess worlds would be the correct term, different dimensions maybe. And each time there is a new arc, the characters all respawn and regenerate, and it's back at the same, rough cut the same time that we started last time. Now, of course, I'm not going to sit here and explain every single arc, but just please do note, in Higurashi, each arc, pretty much someone goes crazy and kills everyone else. Rough cut varying each time with more or less what happens. It's almost like Endless 8 in Haruhi, but it's not exactly the same thing. Now, if we look at Season 2, we can see there's a lot less arcs, and in fact, we go into more of a final arc, which kind of seems to be more or less the real world. We hear that Rika, who's a priestess at the local shrine, who lost her parents when she was young, and also is more or less referred to as the reincarnation of Oyashiro, who is the main deity in the town. We realize this whole time that this was all just Rika's doing. Not exactly of her choice, but she has to go into a world and make sure that everyone actually survives one of the worlds. Arcs, same difference, except if we're looking at it from a perspective of inside the world, it's a dimension. Outside of the world, just as viewers, we're going to call them arcs. So it doesn't really matter, it's an interchangeable term. But regardless, we see that the cause of most people dying, most people going insane, is actually because of Takano Mio, a local, I guess you could call her a nurse. Now, the big thing with this is her parents died when she was little. They were on a bus, and the bus crashed, and everyone died on board. This will let me get into what's really weird about the whole ending, because we see Rika saying, oh, it's okay, Mio, it's okay, you're through a lot of pain, just don't kill us. And, that's kind of what the ending seems to be. And then we go back in time, see someone who looks exactly like Rika, trying to kill Mio, and you're like, wait, what? Why? Why did that just happen? And then it ends, after we see that somehow Mio's actually still alive. Why? That's not actually Rika. That is someone called Frederica Byrne-Castell, which is actually a person from, guess where? Umineko no Nakokoro ni. And that's why we have to get into this whole other series to explain what's going on. But who exactly is this Frederica person? She's actually a witch who has lived for hundreds of years. Yeah, I know, right? And basically, and I will keep this as basic as I can, each time Rika is killed in the world, Frederica's consciousness moves to the next world and goes into Rika. So we're not actually technically seeing Rika at all, we're seeing Rika's body with Frederica's consciousness in it. Whoa, that's a little hard to take in at first. Which is why, if you've ever seen Rei the Ova, Frederica decides to leave the quote-unquote perfect world thinking that Rika deserves it because it's Frederica in the perfect world, not actually Rika. Whoa! In fact, if you have actually seen Umineko no Nakokoro ni, you know that why is Frederica actually doing all this? Because she's lived for bazillions years and actually wants to just do something other than sit around. So she goes around and quote-unquote plays with game board pieces or something. So basically the different arcs or worlds are kind of different games to her to run around in and move pieces around kind of like a chess game. And that's right, that very last part when we saw Mio as a little kid, that's a different world. And she was trying to actually kill Mio, but it didn't actually work out too well. And that's kind of it. Basically, it wasn't Rika, it was some other lady who was a witch. And she decided it would be a great idea to have her consciousness go into Rika for a little while, jump around, find a perfect world, then say, I don't deserve this, it should go to Rika, then have some fun and try and make Mio die, and then went on to a different place. I don't know which events happened first, Umineko or Higurashi. The dates are all in the 80s, so I can't tell you, but technically Umineko happens after because it spans, the entirety of the story spans until the 90s, and Higurashi only happens in the 80s. So that's that. That's a long-winded explanation, but how it happened. So thank you for watching, and I hope this made sense.